This is WPTV, William Patterson Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The NBA season is 10 games in, and here to break down the action on the hardwood is Andrew, Rico, Danny, and Brian. Guys, the Celtics headed to Philadelphia on Wednesday night to take on the red-hot 76ers. Andrew Ballistreri, what did we see from this game?
We're going to take a look at the highlights from this game. It was a great matchup in Philly. We'll take a look right here. Peyton Pritchard to Luke Cornett, and he's going to throw that one down. A nice alley-oop in the second quarter here. Now we see Tobias Harris late in the first half. He's going to get inside and an and one for him. Nice little bucket right there. Make it 52-50 here. Late in the second, we got Tyrese Maxey. Gets a screen from Embiid. Step back three. That's cash every single time from Maxey right there to give Philly the lead going into the second half. Here we see Tatum, easy pull-up jumper. You can't stop that. And here it is once again, another one, bang, right there. Give them a 5-point lead late in the third. Here we are in the fourth quarter now. We got a steal right here from Springer on Tatum. He's going to throw that thing down and make it a 4-point game with 9 minutes left in this one, 89-85. Here we see a steal right here from Derek White. He's going to throw this ball up to Tatum. Tatum with a nice move and another and one for the Celtics. Tatum's exhausted, but he's doing it all for them tonight. He had a great game. Here we see late in the game, Al Horford in the corner. Bad closeout by Embiid, and too easy for that bald man to get that bucket right there. They're up by 5 now with just a minute left. Derek White goes inside, a good kick out to Tatum. Tatum splashes a three. Celtics are going to win this one in Philly, get a nice 117-107 win to improve to 9-2. As you see, 117-107 here on Wednesday. We'll take a look at the rebounds, 45-41. Field goal percentage and three-point percentage, both about even. You got 47 and 45, as well as 36 and 36. And the 76ers, at 5 starters in double figures in this game, still can't pull out the win.
Yeah, I mean, a good win for the Celtics there. They've been red hot to start out the season, as have the 76ers, but just can't get that one down there. But Andrew Ballistreri, going to go back to you. What was the reason for the Celtics winning that one?
I mean, you saw, 5 Sixers in double figures, but I got to go with the Sixers bench. They struggled mightily in this one. They shot just 2 for 8 from 3, and just 2 players scored off the bench. Pat Beverly did not look bad, and the Sixers starters looked so good. So that is a little bit of a silver lining, going against one of the best teams in the league.
But, down the line, if you don't have the bench, it's going to take over in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But Danny, moving on to you, what was the reason for the Celtics winning that one?
I think the reason for the Celtics winning was Jason Tatum's performance. He was very efficient, and he moved the ball. He's a very unselfish player. He gets his teammates involved, and that will carry on into the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it for years now, Jason Tatum. I mean, he's only 19. It's crazy. Rico, what was the reason for the Celtics winning?
Al Horford, he continues to lock down Joel Embiid. How many years has he been locking him down? Like 7 years? I was like a freshman in high school when they first went up against each other. He had 29 and 7 this game with only 4 free throw attempts, and he averages 10 free throws a game. The foul merchant, he loves to flop. He loves to go on the floor. But Al Horford, he continues to be the Embiid stopper at 37. And it's really impressive how, at 37, he's still able to go up against the MVP.
I know. It really is impressive the way Al Horford continues to play Embiid. But, Brian, first of all, I apologize for showing that loss for your 76ers on the screen. But what was the reason for the 76ers losing that one?
I sadly have to talk about Derek White. He went off. He saw that the 2 starters were out. Porzingis was out. Brown was out. He just stepped up. He had 27 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. And just saying, the games before that, against the Knicks, he only had 3 points. Against the Raptors, he only had 4 points. He saw the Sixers on the board. He scored 27 points. It made me so angry.
He had that one circled on the calendar for sure, Brian.
The bald head made him turn into Michael Jordan.
Probably.
It clearly did. But moving on, something that's going to continue today is the in-season tournament, which has been going on for about 2 weeks now, and group play is heating up. Brian, who do you think ends up taking the trophy home at the end of this tournament?
I got Ant-Man and the Timberwolves, man. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm going to talk about him first. He has 2 30-point games in the in-season tournament already. We got Anthony Edwards. He's just competitive. He just wants to win everything. You know how he is. He just has that Mamba mentality. And you know how the Timberwolves are in really pointless tournaments. They won the play-in. They celebrated like it was the NBA Finals. They're going to win this in-season tournament. They might just take the whole rest of the season off, maybe.
You never know. I mean, I don't even know what this tournament, I don't know what the winner gets. I know it's a trophy, but besides that, I really don't. But Rico, who's winning this one?
Give me those young, fast, and hungry Indiana Pacers. You know, they're currently 2-0 in the Group A East standings. They have the #1 offense in the league, but 28 in defense. You know, Tyrese Halliburton, he's averaging 24.7 points a game with 12.5 assists. This is like elevated Steve Nash right here. And then you got Miles Turner who's putting up 17.9 points a game, and he's shooting 39% from three. He looks like a better shooter than Karl Anthony Towns on those Timberwolves. And also, they got 8 players averaging double figures on this team. 8 players. They are deep. Young, deep, and hungry. Give me those Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them last year kind of get off to an impressive start. You know, obviously not resulting in much, but this in-season tournament could really be a proving ground for them. Danny, who do you think wins it?
I'm going to go with the easy choice and just say it's going to be the Denver Nuggets again. Nikola Jokic is the best player in basketball right now, and he has a very good cast around him. Jamal Murray's healthy. MPJ, very efficient shooter.
Just doesn't swing the rock, but
he doesn't pass, but he has Jokic to do that.
Exactly.
So he really doesn't have to. Their defense, they're just all together as a team, and it translates, and you see it show.
Yeah, so I mean, from one championship to another, potentially the Denver Nuggets win that one. But finishing off with you, Bally, who do you think ends up taking this one?
Well, as a Knicks fan, this really pains me, but I got to give Philly a little bit of love. I'm going to say the 76ers win this one. I mean, you know, their group, it's not the best. Their best competition in that one is the Cavs, I would say. And I definitely think they're better than the Cavs. And, you know, other than losing to the Celtics, the Sixers have looked phenomenal this season. They look very much rejuvenated since Harden left. I mean, Tyrese Maxey is blossoming into this absolute superstar so far. Embiid is still doing his thing. I could definitely see this squad making a deep run.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we've seen the flashes from Tyrese Maxey, but he's really making his impact this season. But you mentioned a name there, James Harden, him leaving the 76ers and going to the Clippers, who actually have been on a losing streak since James Harden ended up getting there. And they're not the only ones, but Danny, starting with you, what's a team that's concerning you that's on a losing skid right now?
I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors and Curry. They just have nothing around Curry. They tried to get CP3 on the team by trading Poole, but that didn't help at all. CP3 not too long ago, maybe like last week, he put up 0 points, 0 assists in like 30 minutes of play.
Ah, the Tony Snell.
Yeah, he's just not making that big of a difference. Draymond Green can't do anything on offense. He's over here choking people. And
That did happen.
Klay Thompson, you know, he's been underwhelming. He had a decent season last year, but it's not the same. He's not the same as he was before the injuries.
He's got 4 rings.
4 rings. But unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to translate to an in-season tournament win or a finals win. But Andrew, a lot of losing teams. Which one are you taking? I'm
going to really make Rico upset right here. I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. They're off to a 5-6 start, and the big three is yet to play together yet. This really, it feels like a situation like we saw with the Brooklyn Nets a couple years ago with KD, Kyrie, and Harden, where they just couldn't play together. You know, Beal and Book, they haven't looked good so far. I mean, Book has looked good in just the 3 games he played, but Beal is not very efficient so far. And they've taken some tough losses. I mean, they lost to the Spurs, they lost to the Thunder, they lost to the Lakers twice. And it's going to be really difficult to compete in this insane Western Conference if you don't have your big 3 playing. Yeah, every year the West it's really just rolling the dice on who ends up going out of there. And that big 3, it concerned me when they made the trade, but we'll see how the rest of the season.
Trade. Come on now.
It wasn't a bad trade.
We got rid of Landry Shamet. He couldn't do anything for the team. And I know Bradley Beal, he's got the back of a 47-year-old. Nobody told us that. Come on.
All right, well, moving on to you, Brian. You know, there's a lot of teams. You know, we talked about the West for a little bit. Are you sticking with the West, maybe going to the East?
I'm sticking with the West. I'm agreeing with my boy right here. I got the Golden State Warriors, and I'll tell you why. Curry needs help. He has a knee injury right now because all that load he's carrying. The last time someone has scored 20 points with Curry on the floor was Dario Saric on November 3rd.
Don't disrespect Dario like that.
Okay, but Dario Saric, he's not going to score 20 points every game.
Top 3 Rookie of the Year voting 2017.
Klay Thompson is pretty much just Duncan Robinson. Andrew Wiggins is only averaging 10 points, and he was an all-star a couple of seasons ago. And Draymond Green is worried about getting 50 G's from Dana White, putting people in brand naked chokes. So, like, this team's just in shambles. Like, they're not going to win in the Curry era if they don't make a move.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of interesting moves at the deadline. Rico, what team are you taking as your most disappointing?
No, give me those Brooklyn Nets. They have an up and down 6-6 start to the season. Mikal Bridges is shooting 29% from three, and that's been really disappointing. They've also been really injury riddled. They got Cam Johnson, who's only played 5 games, Cam Thomas, who recently went out, and of course Ben Simmons. We don't know where the heck he's going. He's always in, out. Everybody, I don't know. Maybe he has a headache right now. The team is in a weird situation. Fans thought that Mikal was going to take a James Harden leap. How he had it with the Houston Rockets. Last year averaged 25. This year is averaging 20. But it doesn't really seem like he's fit for that. And I also really don't understand how Jock Vaughn is coaching. Fans are very split on him. So they've been really disappointed in my opinion.
Yeah, and another team that's been pretty disappointing to start the year are the New Orleans Pelicans. And Zion Williamson, their star player coming back from a season of just not playing whatsoever, he doesn't seem too bought in after their 4-6 start. Rico, there's potential for Zion to get traded, and if he does, where do you expect him to go?
It's very cold and windy in the city of Chicago. I wish I brought my beanie with me, but that's the perfect fit for Zion. Zach LaVine, who already quietly requested a trade out of the Chicago. That would be the perfect fit for New Orleans. Huh? You get Brandon Ingram, Zach LaVine. You still got Jose Alvarado, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas. And then Zion, he becomes the new young star of that team. I don't know if Chicago gives him the #1, though, because of Derrick Rose. But he provides them a young core piece, and they can finally get rid of that DeRozan, Levine, Ball core that they've been trying to run for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting place to see him wind up. And also, I would like to see that down in New Orleans, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram, Alvarado. I think that'd be an interesting combo.
Great shooting.
It might not work out. A lot of good shooting, but we'll see. Brian, Zion Williamson, where's he going? 76ers?
No, that's not going to be a fit with Joel Embiid. But just to make Andrew mad, I said the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, come on.
I said the Brooklyn Nets because I believe they're a good team right now. They're decent. They're in the middle of the pack, but they're 1 star away. Yes, Mikal Bridges is only scoring 20 points, but he could be a second man, and Zion be the first guy. I think they have the trade pieces to get him, and I think they have a really good bench too. So I think if they get Zion, they can be kind of middle of the pack, 6 seed contenders. But they would definitely need someone else. But I think that would be a good fit for Zion right there.
Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting look too. I mean 2 young superstars in Mikal and Zion, but Andrew Ballistreri, moving over to you, and I feel like I know what you're going to say.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Zion,
where's he going?
Zion wants to come to the real New York team, not those, fake Brooklyn Nets. He wants to come to the Knicks and bring him over. And Mark, let's take a trip down memory lane. Back to 2019 in the summer. The New York Knicks, an awful season in 2018. And, we're ready. We're ready. We're going to get Zion. We're going to get Kyrie and KD. Instead, the NBA decides to rig the draft like we did with Patrick Ewing.
Again.
And so we don't get the first pick, not the second. We get the 3rd pick. We lose out on Ja Morant.
Sorry.
We lose out on Zion Williamson. It's a shame. We lose out on everybody. We're upset. The haters are all cheering. They think it's hilarious. Now we fast forward to 2023. The Knicks are no longer in the rebuild. We're out of our rebuild. We're officially almost in our championship window. And what better to make the Knicks true championship contenders than Zion Williamson? It's written in the stars, Mark. Bring Zion to us.
Could have had the Duke trio. Would have been nice to see
Wouldn't
that.
it be beautiful?
It would have been.
Don't disrespect Star J. Barrett.
RJ Barrett's my favorite player on the Knicks right
exactly.
now.
There you
I
go.
love RJ.
Danny, close us out. Where can you see Zion going if he ends up leaving?
I think this is the obvious answer. He has to go to the Thunder. They have stars. They have young, good talent in Alexander, Giddey, and Chet. They're just looking for that extra guy to give them playoff contender status and maybe series championship contender status.
Yeah, Zion could be that guy. But as the action on the hardwood continues to heat up, the action on the gridiron is getting intense. The NFL crew are coming up next on Sports Desk.